Welcome to Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, a mother-daughter podcast on all things magic and pop culture. Three, two, one, and we're on.
We're on. What's going on?
Nothing. What's happening?
Not much.
Not much.
No. What's new?
What's new? We film this once a week, so trying to figure out what has, what's been happening.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on in the rest of the world, but I know Washington is kind of,
Yeah, but we don't go lots of places because we're on kind of lockdown. So let's see what's new. So we had, the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not really big Thanksgiving celebrators, but we eat and we spend time together.
We grub.
We munch.
We munja.
We munch on some grindage.
Yes, we do.
And so I like to play games.
You do.
Okay.
You do.
But not like Monopoly. No. I like trivia games.
I like a little Monopoly.
Do you?
Sure.
That game will go on for 19 hours if you let it.
Yeah, it will.
I'm a big trivia.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you couldn't tell, I like music and like movie facts and stats and stuff. So I like to test the old melon,
The cabeza.
I like to keep myself sharp. Not
as a tack.
Not a math and science trivia game. Pop culture. So I had this Trivial Pursuit game from 2001.
Oh my gosh, right?
And, we were, full from the food. And I'm like, let's play this game, guys.
Sounds good.
From 2001.
Great. Yeah.
I lost so bad, and I'm still a little upset.
Who won?
You.
I did.
You little
Well, that's because the questions went back to the 1960s.
Well, but that's not even true. Your questions and Jake's questions were so easy. They were so easy. They would show a picture of a hot dog. What is this? A hot dog. And then my question, they showed a video of the Blue Man Group, and they're like, what was the second guy on the right's mother's name? What the I was so pissed off. I got so grumpy in the middle of it. I was I'm done.
I'm done. And none of us could get the sports category.
Well,
no orange pie for any of us.
Wrong crowd. Yeah, we couldn't. Every time a sports question came along, I was like,
just pass it along.
We did all right.
I can't believe I know so little about sports.
I know so little about sports. I cannot even tell you your question. And I was just giggling because it was something about the rules of football. And I was
gosh.
She ain't going to know that.
What language are you speaking? I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's a foreign language.
I like the
language. Like Klingon or something. Language. I know.
So I'm still a little upset. And I do get upset sometimes. So a few years ago when the world was not on lockdown, me and Jake went to St. Thomas with my dad and stepmom and little brother. And there was this, 80s trivia contest. And then you got free food.
Right.
Okay. And this was an expensive resort. So everyone was putting the eyes on me, and they were
it was all hinged on you.
It was all on me. They were you better fucking win this trivia contest so we can get free nachos.
Eat some Chews.
Dude. And you weren't allowed to look at your phone. And so I abided by the rules, and I did not Google a single answer, and I fucking missed it because of the song "Don't Dream It's Over." I could not reach into my who sings it though. Exactly. It's Crowded House, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. Jake, look it up. I probably got it wrong.
You got it wrong?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Crowded House.
Okay, I know that now because now I'm oh, you will never forget that again.
But what is always your go-to answer if you don't know something?
Dusty Springfield.
That's Dusty Springfield.
If I'm playing a trivia, or if someone's who sings this? I'm definitely Dusty Springfield if I don't know, because no one knows who she is.
What's mine? The Yin Yang Twins.
That's a little more niche.
Every time it's like a rapper, I'm like, it's the Yin Yang Twins. Every once in a while, I get it right.
You do, dude. I do. Speaking of trivia games, we're just going back. I remember in high school, we were playing a trivia game with all my friends, and it came up, and you just pulled that out of your ass, and you were right, and you won the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool points there.
One day I will win with Dusty Springfield. She'll get me there.
It's the son of a preacher man.
I know. Wait, was that her? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's her.
All I can think of is Jan from The Office singing that. So as far as I'm concerned, Jan from The Office sings Son of a Preacher Man.
Oh, there you go.
So there's that. I'm a sore loser, and I'm still upset about the 2001 Trivial Pursuit game that I lost.
So basically what you're saying is for Christmas, you need to update the...
I would like an updated game. I don't need to be asked questions about the fucking Blue Man group.
I thought the question was going to be, who is this group? And I was like, oh, it's the Blue Man group.
But wasn't.
No, it was like, yeah.
It was literally like... What year did they release their, there
was some
self-titled? I don't know.
Really weird questions. Yeah, on that game.
I'm bitter. I'm upset, and I can. Jake at one point said to me, "It got tense. It got tense," and he said, "Excuse me, are you the host of a pop culture podcast?" Because I couldn't get an answer right. And so,
what was my winning question?
What was it?
It was the Dirt. Motley Crue.
Yeah, it was a Motley Crue. And hey. When I was little, I had my Girls t-shirt, and I loved Motley Crue, and she was always like, what is that ruckus?
What is that ruckus?
Get this off of here.
Yep.
And now, because Machine Gun Kelly played Tommy Lee, and she has a crush on Machine Gun Kelly, now she's obsessed with Motley Crue, and that she took the game on that question.
Machine Gun Kelly. In my top 5 Spotify playlist for 2020.
He was number 3 on mine.
He was, I think, he was number 3 on mine too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hey guys, I have to tell you something.
What?
One time.
This one time?
I posted a story about Machine Gun Kelly on our Instagram.
Yeah.
And tagged him, and he responded with the fire emoji.
He hit you up.
So we're best friends.
BFFs,
and,
Machine Gun Kelly.
BFFs forever.
He's a cool dude.
Fire is what he said to me.
Yeah, I like his music. It's good stuff.
Okay. She got so serious about it. All right. Well, do you want to jump into it on that note?
Girl, let's do it.
All right. Do you know what I'm talking about today?
Well, I do because I heard you listening to it.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm talking about Gremlins.
Fun.
So apparently my theme for like the next couple episodes is like, I don't know, mythical beings.
Mythical creatures.
Yeah. Creatures. Okay, so Gremlins is a 1984 horror/comedy movie, but the reason I picked it for the month of December is because I consider it a Christmas movie.
Yeah. We like those offbeat Christmas movies.
Yeah. Well, so when I originally picked it, like I hadn't seen it in a year or two, and I'm like, it takes place at Christmas, but no, like they're playing Christmas songs.
Oh, yeah.
It is a Christmas movie.
That is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas horror movie, which those are rare.
They are.
So drink it in, okay? It was written by Chris Columbus.
He didn't sail the 7 seas.
No. Chris Columbus.
Pinta in the Santa
The Chris Columbus is a dick bag. I don't know this guy. I'm so sorry that this was your name, but we'll ignore it. It was directed by Joe Dante. I like that name, Joe Dante.
I sounds familiar.
Does it? Okay. Do you know him?
Not personally.
Okay. It was executive produced by Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah,
Did you know that
guy. I know that guy. Yeah, I did know that. It was Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
Yes, because I had done some because Corey Feldman's in this. Yeah,
he sure is.
And I remember reading some stuff about Corey Feldman and him talking about
and connected the dots. Interesting.
Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
Okay, so the cast is Zach Galligan as Billy Peltzer. Billy Peltzer, is that right?
What a name.
Peltzer. Phoebe Cates as Kate Berenger. Hoyt Acton as Rand Peltzer.
That'd be Hoyt Axton.
Oh, did I forget a letter in my notes? You know what? Suck it,
Hoyt
Mom.
Axton.
I forgot a letter in my notes. Hoyt Axton. God. Even when I think I'm going good, I'm not. He's the dad, okay? Howie Mandel is the voice of Gizmo. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I'm a little disturbed.
What, Howie Mandel? Oh my gosh.
Like from that show with the briefcases. What was that show?
Yeah. I don't know.
The money.
I don't know. I don't watch game shows.
He's the one that like the what was it?
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal.
Okay.
That Howie Mandel.
That's not what made him famous, though.
I thought it was.
No, he was in not like Scrubs, but he was in like a hospital show or something.
Oh, really?
St. Elsewhere or something?
Yep, he was in St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, that's where his fame came
well,
from.
people my age know him from Deal or No Deal.
Okay.
So when I found out that like I used to cuddle with my Gizmo stuffed animal and then the fucking Howie Mandel from Deal or No Deal is the voice. I'm like, ew. Now
Cool points
lost some cool points there, Gizmo. Son of a bitch. I know. It was cute. It was cute. He did a good job. I don't know him personally. He might be cool. I don't know. And Corey Feldman's in it. And Judge Reinhold.
Oh, yeah. Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, he's in it.
He's great.
For like 2 seconds, but still. Okay.
He was big at that time period.
He was.
Yeah.
They just needed to sprinkle him in.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, and so was that girl, the Phoebe Cates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like the 80s.
They were
They were the
Well, here they are. Okay, so here's the rundown of the movie. If you have not seen Gremlins, what are you doing? I don't know.
Where have you been?
I've been watching this one since I was little.
That's so good.
And as I said, I used to sleep with my little...
Your little Gizmo.
I've always loved Gizmo. Okay, let me explain. So the movie opens with the dad telling a story. And so he's the narrator. He was in Chinatown trying to find a Christmas gift for his kid when he stumbled across a mysterious store. Oh, yeah, there you go. As he's talking to the shop owner, he hears a cute little sound coming from the back room, and it sounds like an animal or something. He is told that is a mugwai. Mugwai. So cute. The shop owner tells him that the mugwai is not for sale.
No.
Because it comes with too much responsibility. But the shop owner's grandson is like, that we need some dough.
We need some cash all up in this.
I'm going to sell this guy the mugwai. But he tells him that there are 3 rules that he must follow if he's going to have this mugwai.
Correct.
Number 1, keep him out of the light, especially sunlight, because it will kill him. 2, keep him away from water.
Yep.
3, and this is the most important, never under any circumstances feed him after midnight. Okay? To me, those are like, okay, that's not that hard.
Right. But guess what? He should have went into a little bit more detail.
He maybe should have told him what fucking happened if you did any of these things.
That is correct.
However, it doesn't seem that difficult, right? Okay, just don't feed him after midnight. But anywho, it doesn't go good.
Doesn't go according to plan.
So the son, Billy, opens up his gift at Christmas and this adorable little creature. So up until this point, you don't see the mugwai.
Right.
Okay, until Billy opens it up for Christmas. Opens it up, the gift.
I feel like that's a Steven Spielberg thing because it wasn't the same
it's like
in
some
E.T.
mystery. Oh, yeah, kind
You
of.
didn't see E.T. for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he likes to leave you,
Hanging.
Gotta hook him.
Hook you in.
So this adorable little creature pops out. He's got big ears and really big eyes, and he's super tiny. Like
so cute.
Super tiny. Like, I don't know, like a hamburger.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he is adorable. I've always loved him. I think he's adorable. They decide to name him Gizmo.
Because his dad's an inventor.
Okay, yeah. His dad tries to invent things. It doesn't go well. That's like a little side note. It's pretty funny. Billy and Gizmo are hanging out. They become BFFs. Right? Billy has a dog. The dog and Gizmo are becoming BFFs. Hold on.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, my God.
All etiquette is out the window
You
here.
can
at
leave
Bob's.
it in. I don't even care anymore. Like, I already have a husband. Like, I'm not trying to... Like, f*** it. Just leave it in. This is me, guys. This is me.
Raw and unfiltered. He takes good care of Gizmo. Just segueing back.
We'll ignore that.
We'll ignore that large belch.
Well, yeah, Billy he cares for Gizmo. They're all getting along. Gizmo likes to sing, so there's this like cute scene where Billy's playing notes on the piano and Gizmo's like matching the pitch and they're singing and it's f***ing adorable. Flash forward a little bit, Billy's neighbor friend, played by Corey Feldman.
Yes.
The Corey Feldman. He's over, checking out the Mugwai because it's like, how excited would you be that you found this like creature?
Right. When have you ever seen a Mugwai?
Exactly. But hey, those really simple rules that I just f***ing said. Corey Feldman f***s up and spills a glass of water on Gizmo.
Oh no.
And he starts freaking the f*** out.
Yeah.
And all of these little like fur balls start popping up out of Gizmo. And then they each turn into another Mugwai.
Gizmo 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, Gizmo's just shaking his head like, you son of a bitch.
You f***ed up. You done f***ed up.
You done f***ed up now, boy. So now there are like 6 Mugwais. And they don't seem as nice and cute and sweet as Gizmo.
No, that's correct.
Okay, one specifically is really mean.
Mischievous.
Yes, and they call him Stripe because he has like a stripe of white fur on his head.
Oh, geez, and I thought it was Spike.
I always thought it was Spike.
Stripe.
I think you told me it was Spike.
Did I?
I think so. Wow. Hey, it's your fault.
I misled you.
You did. So Billy is shitting his pants because there's a lot of them now. And he's like, oh shit. I said, way to f*** up immediately. Like, I mean, you had Gizmo for like a day and you couldn't follow the simple rules, but it's fine. He f***s up yet again when he decides to show his science teacher how they multiply with water.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, he takes one of them and drops water on them, and they multiply again. Billy, what the f*** are you doing?
Whoa, so dumb.
He's like an adult male, too. Like, he's not a kid. He's not, like, 12. He's like,
in high school.
No, I think he's, like, 20-something. So,
then how did he show his teacher?
Oh,
he was in high school.
See, okay, but still... You're in high school, you should know better.
30-year-olds playing a 16-year-old.
Hey, teach. I'm coming back. Look what I found.
It happens so often.
Whatever. If you're in high school, you should know how to take care of an animal. God damn it. There's my lesson. Life lessons with Leigh. If you're in high school, get it together.
New segment.
Oh, my God. So now there are like literally a ton of Mugwais.
Little Mugwais.
And they are cute.
They're adorable.
They're adorable. They make cute little sounds. They're fluffy and cute.
And when they eat, oh my God, when they start eating that fried chicken.
I know. He's like, you want some chicken? I know. They're adorable. But they're like on crack, right? So like Gizmo is like one of a kind, okay? Yeah. And the rest are like, they seem like they just drank like 9,000 cups of coffee. They're like bouncing off the walls like, woo!
Yeah, right.
And they're obviously mischievous. So they change Billy's clock so that it looks like it's
like 9
p.m., but it's after midnight.
Yeah.
And he gives them a snack of fried chicken.
Okay. And they're like
yum, yum. They're so cute. If you haven't seen this movie, you're probably like, what the f*** are you talking about? But they're adorable.
Yeah.
So Billy and Gizmo drift off to sleep as they're like munching on the chicken. And when they wake up, Gizmo's like, uh-oh. They find a bunch of like cocoons. Yeah. I didn't know the word but they're like these.
Yeah, a chrysalis. No.
Let me pull out my science glasses. Yes, it was a chrysalis.
The pod people.
The cocoon. Oh, okay. The science teacher explains that they are going through metamorphosis and will change in form and appearance. So they're like in these pods and they're changing. Of course they do. And they change into these weird green troll-looking things.
Not cute,
not fluffy, and fuzzy.
Not Mugwai.
Not Mugwai. They look like what's hiding under the bridge when you... What's that?
Trolls.
Yes, trolls. Yes, exactly. long story very short, because I don't want to spoil the whole movie because it's funny and it's cute.
It's great holiday fun.
I think so.
Yeah?
It's not like really scary. Like it's not. It's considered a horror comedy, but it's light on the horror.
It's light, yeah.
Long story short, they aren't very friendly, and hits the fucking fan. Their mission is kind of like to torture everyone. They're really mean to Gizmo and the dog, and pretty much the entire town. They light on fire. They destroy.
Don't they string the dog up in Christmas lights? They string the dog up in
Christmas lights. They like attack the mom with the Christmas tree. It's hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious. They're at the bar smoking cigarettes at one point and playing cards.
They're all dressed up in like
I know, and like hats, and it's hilarious.
It's very funny.
So, I'm not going to spoil the end, but obviously it gets handled. At the very end, the shop owner comes back and he takes Gizmo back because he says that they were too irresponsible with him.
Yep.
He says that our society does that with all of nature's gifts.
That is correct.
And boy,
get you right in the feels right there.
I know, he said that and I was like, oh, you were right, my friend. Before they leave, Gizmo pops his little head out and he says, "Bye, Billy."
I know. That's a heart
wrencher. I cry every time.
I know. It's every a heartbreaker.
I was sitting there like,
bye, Billy.
Then he says bye to the dog. He goes, "Bye, woof, woof." Oh, I'm like, and there I go. Waterworks every time. The shop owner tells Billy that someday he will be ready and responsible enough to take care of Gizmo, and until then he will be waiting. And there is a Gremlins 2, so can't be too sad.
Right.
Do the math. Okay. But so that's Gremlins.
Yeah.
That's the story.
It's a cute little film.
It is. It's
Remember
fun.
when we saw that Gremlins lunchbox?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, why didn't we buy that?
I don't know.
I think it was like $100.
So I was waiting for my Robin Gibb, There's only room for one.
Yeah.
And I chose Robin.
There you go.
If that tells you anything about me. Okay, so my lesson here, and I didn't really know, like I knew I wanted to do Gremlins because it was always one of my favorites when I was little. And like I said, I had a bunch of, I had a Gremlins t-shirt.
You did?
Remember the Gremlins was in like shiny, glittery red. Okay.
I recall.
It was really cool. So I knew I wanted to do it, but I was like, well, what is like my magical lesson here? But the lore of Gremlins, like I didn't necessarily know that Gremlins was actually like a mythical thing.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to talk about.
Awesome.
So gremlin appears to come from the Old English word, gremian. Did I say that right?
Gremian? I don't know.
Sound good?
Sure.
Which means to provoke or vex, which means to like annoy. Okay, so they are closely related to goblins or elves.
Nice.
And I taught everyone about elves last week.
Yes.
So, boom, look at that. Depictions of them vary, but they are usually described as very small, animal-like creatures with very large eyes and sharp teeth.
And that is well depicted in the movie.
Yes, this movie did a really good job. They are known as being incredibly mischievous. Like that is their thing. So gremlin became a slang term in the British Air Force, to describe mischievous creatures that f***ed with planes and aircrafts. So if a plane went down and they couldn't figure out why, it was blamed on gremlins messing and toying with the plane. A story along these lines was printed in 1929 in a poem, and that seems to be the first like print evidence of the term gremlin being used in conjunction with like aircrafts. Yeah, I didn't know any of this, so I'm like, I hope I'm not butchering it, but this was shocking to me. So like gremlins and the lore of gremlins really picked up in World War II.
Interesting.
Isn't that kind of cool? Like I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
They are said to be completely self-serving. They did not choose a side in the war when they were fucking with the aircrafts. Like they weren't like, I'm on the British side or whatever. No. They just wanted to be assholes.
They just wanted to wreak havoc.
They just wanted to wreak havoc on everyone.
Right.
No one was safe. Right. For this reason, folklorist John Hazen says that the lore of gremlins is a direct result of the machine age. Okay. So how did that, like, because it was very much in the like aircraft circle.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, how did it go from that to this movie, kind of?
Right. Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Am I?
I don't
Should
know.
strap
I was
myself
shocked.
in? Yeah.
Okay. Writer Roald Dahl is credited with popularizing Gremlins and bringing the lore out of the Air Force circle.
Well, and he was in the military. We
He
talked
was.
about in the
Yes,
Royal Guard. Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about Roald Dahl in the Matilda episode. So he was in the Royal Air Force and he experienced a plane crash of his own.
Yeah.
And his first children's book was written in 1943 and it was called The Gremlins.
You're kidding.
I didn't know this.
I did not know this. You don't have this.
No, because, and I'll get to that. So the story was tiny mythical creatures sabotaged aircrafts to get revenge on humans for destroying their forest homes.
Ooh.
That was the story. But Disney bought it, and they were gonna turn it into a movie.
Film.
Yeah, an animated movie, but it never happened.
Okay.
So the book is like. It's not like a Roald Dahl book. It's like a Disney book.
Really?
Yes. I didn't know this.
That's
And we talked like I'm a huge Roald Dahl fan and I don't.
Yeah. And I think I recall in the Alexander Crowley episode, we talked about him meeting Roald Dahl and trying to infiltrate into, the English military, whatever Roald Dahl was a part of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the Disney film was never made.
Okay.
But after this, Gremlins became a popular creature and appeared in many books and shows and films. And that's a whole Roald Dahl. Thanks to Roald Dahl.
Huh. I do think in your Brian Froud, your fairy book, there's Gremlins.
But it's because of that's
because
fascinating
of Roald Dahl.
because of Roald Dahl.
That
It was very much a like Air Force, like if you flew planes and stuff, you were familiar with the lore from my reading. That's what
other people weren't.
Other people were not familiar until he wrote that book and then it became popular.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I know. So they appear in many other pop culture things. So there's a Twilight Zone episode in 1963 called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet where gremlins f*** with a plane. They appear in the Looney Tunes, many different comic books. The 1981 animated film Heavy Metal, which we have on VHS.
Yeah.
They are in Are You Afraid of the Dark? They are in Doctor Who, and they are in The Simpsons. And that's just some of them. I mean, you're going to see Gremlins.
Yeah, right.
So I did want to connect it, though. In Chinese culture, and I hope I'm not, I hope I got this correct, Mogwai is actually a thing.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
A Mogwai are demons or bad spirits that mess with humans, and some even cause harm to them. And it is said that they mate during periods with a lot of rain. So I thought that was interesting because in the movie,
if they
get wet, they multiply.
Yeah.
So that's like actually connected to the lore of Mogwai.
Huh.
Yes. So my side notes here.
Okay.
I have a few.
All right.
Director Joe Dante did say that Roald Dahl's book was a big part of the inspiration for the movie Gremlins.
We have to find that book.
I'm a little upset with myself.
I mean, you own every Roald Dahl book.
If that was a question in the Trivial Pursuit, I would not have gotten a piece of pie.
You'd have no pie for you.
It was originally supposed to be a lot scarier. With the gremlins actually killing people and stuff. So I do think that's interesting that in Chinese culture, they're like known as, like Mogwai is, it's not good. Like they hurt people.
Maybe that's why Gizmo was so cherished because he wasn't.
He wasn't mean.
He wasn't mean.
I know, he was so cute. The score is beautiful. I had to take note of the score. Like I love the music in this movie.
Oh my God, was it Danny Elfman?
No, it wasn't.
That's one thing not done by Danny Elfman?
Every time I like a score, it's Danny Elfman. But no, this was Jerry Goldsmith. I know. Way to go, Jerry.
Go, Jer.
Top-notch job, Jerry. I do love the contrast of like the horror genre set against like Christmas. Like I love horror Christmas movies because Christmas is so like jolly and cheerful, and then you have this,
they bring in the
like these gremlins wreaking havoc.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, that was kind of all I wanted to say there. So that's it. That's what I have.
That's what you got?
Yeah.
Dude, that was interesting.
Wasn't it?
I had no idea.
I had no idea that gremlins had anything to do with like planes or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I just knew that they were mischievous.
Little mischievous little buggers.
They're like the cousin of elves. So I just kind of continued my lesson from last week.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love that.
That was fun, right?
That was good.
Yeah, I think that if you have I shouldn't say if you have kids. I always say this. If you have kids, watch this, and then it's like...
and then you're like,
it's kind of scary.
Abort.
Never mind. Don't listen to me. It's a good movie.
It is. I don't think it's too scary for kids.
I watched it when I was a kid.
I haven't seen it in a while. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
I think it's more funny. I think it's funny.
Like a funny horror.
Right.
Funny ha-ha.
It's supposed to be funny ha-ha.
Funny ha-ha.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is Gremlins, guys.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Am I up? Am I up to bat?
Well, wait.
Oh, hold on.
Hold
the phone.
Hold the fucking phone.
Pump the brakes.
We have to hear from our sponsor.
Oh, of course. How silly of me.
This episode is sponsored by Grandpa and Chill, a fun new podcast that we know you guys will love, starring Brandon, Sierra, Finus, and of course, Grandpa. Here's the spiel. A grandson sits down to chill with his grandpa and friends, bridging the gap between millennials and the silent generation. Every episode is filled with in-depth conversations, and no topic is off limits. Sounds cool, right? Topics range from silly stories to heartbreaking tales, and even feature a special call-in guest every episode. If you're looking to sit back, unwind, have a laugh, or possibly a small cry, make sure to check these guys out. Episodes are available everywhere you'd want to listen, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. Head to the link in our show notes to give them a listen today. Take it from me, it will absolutely be worth your time. Thank you again to the Grandpa and Chill team.
All right. Do you know what I'm talking about today?
I do.
You do?
I'm not even going to lie about it. I do. I'm actually really excited about this one.
Are you?
I am.
Have you not seen this one in a while?
Probably like a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like to watch this one at Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so I'm doing a very supernatural Christmas. So
Supernatural.
if you haven't been watching Uncle Bob's, Laura loves Supernatural.
She does.
I do. So this is season 3, episode 8, which aired December 13th, 2007.
Oh my God, that long ago?
I know. Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki.
Okay, wait. Who's your favorite, Sam or Dean? Oh no.
Jeez. I can't even answer that. I think, my favorite is Bobby.
Yeah.
I love Jim Beaver. Like, I simply love Jim Beaver. I love Bobby Singer. I love the character, but him as a human being.
I wonder if we can get him on the show.
Super cool. Jim Beaver, I'd love to have you on the show. He is like, he's cool. He's a cool dude.
He's a righteous dude.
But the other two, equal.
Really?
Why do you have one you like better?
I like Sam. I like smart, nerdy.
Yeah, I mean, no if
offense,
we have
Jake.
to pick the herb nerd, he's kind of a little bit of the herb nerd. I mean, he's so knowledgeable on lore and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always like the
you like the bad boy.
I always like the bad boy, but I do. And then Jared, goes back to the Gilmore Girls, which we absolutely love. So,
Yeah.
You kind of have a fond place in your heart for him. But
We take this so seriously. Like,
We
they're
do
not real.
they're not real.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so Supernatural is about two brothers who are ghost hunters. They're called hunters, but they go out and they, search for things that are of supernatural.
That are bad.
That are, wreaking havoc on the world. And it's one of the longest running series, just ended.
I don't want to talk about it.
So I have not watched it. I can't do it yet. But so it's been on for a really long time.
Yeah.
And 15 years, 15 seasons.
Wow. Yeah. If you haven't watched it and you listen to us, you would definitely enjoy it.
You would love Supernatural. So the episode that I'm doing is the Christmas episode. And it's when we start out, it's 1 year. It's like 1 year in the past.
Okay.
And, they always put like where they are. So 1 year ago in Seattle, Washington.
What? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
What the
A man visits his grandson at Christmas, and that evening he dresses as Santa and starts putting the gifts under the tree from his sack. And his sack. He's very aware that his grandson is peeping and looking at him, and that's kind of why he did it. It's kind of why he because his grandson believes in Santa Claus, so he dresses up as Santa Claus. What's so funny about that? Because he's peeping.
You said peeping and then like sack, like. Sorry,
Leanne, get your mind out of the
okay.
All right. So they hear a little noise on the roof.
Okay,
and the grandfather looks like he's gonna shit his pants. And the little kid's like, ooh, it's reindeer. and the grandfather's like, what's happening? So he kind of goes over to the fireplace to see like what's going on. And he gets pulled up through the fireplace.
Ooh, bye-bye.
And the next scene is a bloody stump of a leg comes down through the fireplace.
Well, that kid's up for the rest of his life.
I have written here, that kid's going to need therapy for the rest of his life.
Yep. No.
So jump to present day, 1 year. Mm-hmm. And I know I do not know how to say this word. They're in Michigan. The city is Ypsilanti. If you're from Michigan and it's YPSILANTI. Ypsilanti?
I think you nailed it.
I don't know.
I think you did it.
Okay.
Great job.
Unless you're from Michigan and
I know they're probably like, F you guys.
That's totally wrong. We see Sam and Dean in their FBI suits because sometimes, they portray themselves as FBI agents.
Get the scoop.
Always with rock and roll names, which is so cool.
I know.
Talking to Mrs. Walsh, whose husband has just disappeared.
Okay.
The only clue? A bloody tooth in the fireplace.
Okay.
Right? So Dean thinks that maybe possibly they're dealing with a serial killing chimney sweep.
All right, Dean.
And Sam says, yeah, that's who it is. It's Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, my God.
From Mary Poppins. And we just talked about this a couple weeks ago.
That's hilarious.
So Sam, who's the smarty pants, he seems to think that they're dealing with some kind of anti-Claus.
Okay.
Instead of Santa Claus. And he says that every culture in the world has some kind of anti-Claus who is like the rogue brother of Santa.
Okay. Like the evil twin.
Who punishes
like Krampus.
The naughty. Yeah, so some of the examples he gives is Krampus or Belznickel, who is a sinister Santa from Germany. Belschnickel.
Oh my God, like Dwight Schrute does in The Office.
He does Belschnickel?
He does Belschnickel. Really? Yes, he does.
But so then Dean says, well, Santa's not real, so how can he have a brother? A rogue brother that's real, and Sam's like, yeah, good point. Mm-hmm. So they don't know quite what they're dealing with here.
Okay.
Right? So when another victim appears, or disappears,
bloody stump,
seen by his son sees the whole thing.
Okay.
And he gets pulled up through the fireplace. So Sam and Dean again show up in their FBI suits to investigate, and Sam, being the smarty pants that he is, notices that each of the victims had the same wreath over the fireplace.
Oh.
And Sammy thinks, what's happening here?
Wow, that's really perceptive of
That's
you,
very
Sam.
perceptive of you, Sam. So he identifies the plant as Meadowsweet.
And he just knows that?
That's
smart. Like me and you. Oh my God, am I Dean?
You're Dean.
Oh, shit. Oh,
So he explains to Dean that Meadowsweet is a very rare plant and considered the most powerful plant in pagan lore. It is used, you're like...
I'm going to call bullshit. But okay, keep going.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
So it's used to summon gods for human sacrifice.
That took a turn. Sorry, did you hear my gulp?
You're like, goon, goon. At one point, Dean says, "How much does one of those wreaths cost?" And Sam says, $200.
We're in the wrong business.
That's a expensive wreath. So after checking in with Bobby, they realize that they are dealing not with the Anti-Claus,
Okay.
but with Hold Nikar.
What's that?
He is a god.
Okay.
He is a pagan god of the winter solstice or Yule.
Okay.
And so when he is offered a sacrifice, he grants a mild winter.
Okay.
Those poor people.
Well, you have snow that bad?
I mean, you have to think back in the day when winter
I know
came.
crops, but like, guys, chill the fuck out.
We're sacrificing humans for no snow.
So that I don't have to clean the snow off of my car for the winter.
And Bobby tells them that evergreen is the only thing that can kill this god.
What do you just like throw it at him or what?
I would think that probably wouldn't work.
Okay.
So I wanted to see if Hold Nikar was like a real myth. And he is.
Okay.
And he's simply referred to as Nikar, which is Scandinavian and is related to a demon of the water. And he would drown his victims. But he was an old man with long hair.
Okay.
And so kind of the Santa image. But he is one of 3 gods that was used to create the Santa persona. Nikar was the namesake. Saint Nicholas came from Nikar.
Okay, but water?
I know.
Okay.
Weird, right?
A little bit.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that was a stretch. That
was a stretch,
That was a
y'all.
real stretch there, kids. So, Dean is very shocked that there is a pagan god for Christmas because he says that's Jesus' birthday.
All right, chill the fuck out.
And so Sam clarifies that Jesus would have been born in the fall and not the winter, and that actually the customs that we enjoy at the Christmas season are all pretty much pagan.
See, this is why I like Sam.
Yeah, he's on top of his shit.
Right.
So he said that most of the customs were assimilated from pagan lore, such as the Yule log, the red suit that Santa wears, and the Christmas tree or the evergreen.
Right.
So, Dean is shocked.
Dean, what the are you talking about?
So the 2 sleuthers, Sam and Dean, they identify the wreath maker as Madge and Edward Kerrigan.
Madge
and Edward, who coinky-dink happened to live in Seattle the previous year.
Okay.
What?
Yo, what's happening?
So when they stop by to pay them a visit, it's like something out of Ozzie and Harriet. Their house is like tchotchke city. Hello, Christmas.
We love a tchotchke.
We do love a tchotchke, but there's some tacky Christmas in that house.
Tacky crap.
Woo! So they sneak in the evening and they go down to the basement, and it's not tchotchke city. It is, horror city, because there's all kinds of like bloody stumps and decomposed bones and all that crap down there. But unfortunately, they're
Do
caught.
bones decompose?
No. But
Hold
I mean,
on,
like,
let me get my science glasses.
flesh decomposing off the bone.
Let me get my science
Thanks for
glasses
catching
out.
that, Leanne.
You are very welcome. People cannot tell me I'm not smart after this.
Thanks for clocking me on that one. So the Kerrigans catch them in the basement and knock them out.
They got knocked the f*** out.
They get knocked the f*** out, and they end up, the next time we see them, they're tied to a chair. They're both tied to chairs. And then they're going to be the next sacrifices for the old.
So that they have a mild winter.
Want to have a mild winter. Okay. So,
That's something you would do.
I want the plants to grow, damn it.
She hates winter.
Oh, I do. I do. So Edward explains that they were gods
Okay.
And they were worshipped by the masses. And they didn't even have to go out and find sacrifices because people just sacrificed themselves because they wanted a mild winter.
Okay, guys.
And so then they said that basically there was upheaval because they had to assimilate, because when Christianity came into play, it took all of their customs and all of their lore and all of their worshipers, and they had to kind of assimilate into the culture. And now, they feel like that they've done a good job. They only take a couple sacrifices a year instead of hundreds. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
So Sam and Dean end up escaping, and they kill them with their Christmas tree, impaling them.
Love that.
So the interesting part about this, though, was that it's considered this character was considered, Holden Nakar was considered one of the more complex gods seen on the show, because it was not two entities. It wasn't like Madge and Edward. It was one god.
Okay.
But they were able to separate into the male and female aspect. But if you killed one, you completely weakened the other. You know what I mean? So one god, they were able to shapeshift into two entities.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it was the first holiday-themed episode for Supernatural. Yeah. So I love that.
In 2007.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was a freshman in high school.
Crazy, right?
Ugh.
So there's actually a second plot line in the episode where Dean wants to celebrate Christmas, a traditional Christmas with Sam, because this is his last Christmas, because, those two were always,
one of them's always dying.
They're always at the end of their rope, but he made like a crossroads deal or something, and he only has a year to live. So Sam says that he can't, and they flash back to 1991 when, through a series of discoveries, Sammy discovers that there is no Santa. Do you remember the minute that you knew there was no Santa? Girl, I tried to hold on to that for years for you. I always would tell you, Santa is real. Santa's real.
Let me tell you right now.
I still believe in Santa.
I came out of the womb knowing that Santa wasn't real. Do you know what I used to do? I used to request writing samples from you and my dad and my stepmom.
You did.
For the notes from Santa.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, is that right?
And I would always tell you that, no, Santa's real.
No, but then when I would have a note from Santa, and then I would compare it to the writing sample that I gathered.
Should be a forensic
I should have been a fucking lawyer or like a forensic. God, what am I doing? You know what? Screw this. I'm done.
But when Sam is discovering, that there's no Santa.
Leave that in.
Yeah, whatever. They're watching A Year Without a Santa Claus on the television.
Oh, that's my favorite Christmas movie.
Know. But, kind of A Year Without a Santa Claus. So Sammy discovers there's no Santa, and he also discovers what their dad does, and that they are monster hunters and that monsters are real. So there goes Sammy's innocence.
So that's a f***ed up Christmas.
That's a f***ed up Christmas. So that's why Sam does not like Christmas. Dean goes to the extra lengths as a kid to give Sammy a special Christmas, and he gets a twig with some lights on it. He robbed the house down the road to get him some Christmas gifts, which happened to be like Barbie dolls.
Cute, sweet.
And he tries to convince Sammy that their dad had come and he was asleep. So it's interesting because I feel like the lengths that we as humans go to bring joy to those people around us at Christmas time. And it's like, there's a lot of sacrifice sometimes that goes into it, and even if it is unnoticed by the recipient, you know what I mean? Because it took, so when we jump to this time period is when Sam finally realizes that the sacrifice that Dean made for him at that time, trying to, and at that, he gives him that necklace that he ends up wearing throughout the show as a gift, Sam does. So at the end of the episode, Sam actually, relents, and he gives Dean the Christmas. And they have some eggnog and gifts that they got at the gas station for each other, and they listen to Rosemary Clooney singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
Ouch.
Isn't that great? It's a good episode. I really like it.
BRB while I go cry for a little bit.
I know. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Meadowsweet, because
Yeah, fucking hit me with this, because that ain't right.
It grinds my gears.
It's grinding my gears.
I should be a consultant.
Yeah.
Why aren't they consulting people on this?
Hollywood. Get it together.
Get it together. Like I have to because I'm an analyzer, I'm a Virgo, and I'm like, why did they pick this herb? Because it literally has nothing to do with what you were talking about.
That's what I thought. Okay,
No.
I wasn't going to say it because I'm not the herb person, but they were wrong, right?
So wrong. So
Okay.
wrong. So we're going to go into it. So Meadowsweet, Filipendula ulmaria. Right? That's the Latin name. Feminine.
Thank you for that.
I've seen different. Some say it's feminine, some say it's masculine, some say it's ruled by Jupiter, some by Venus. I'm going to go with the feminine
I was going
Venus.
to say Meadowsweet feels very feminine to me.
It's a member of the Rosaceae family, which is the rose family. It flowers in June through September and gets these beautiful white tufts of flowers.
Okay.
So other names, Queen of the Meadow, Bridewort, and Lady of the Meadow.
Okay. And they were arguing that was masculine?
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
guess.
Well, there's a story that kind of lends a little bit to the masculine side.
Okay.
You will find Meadowsweet in marshes and wet soil and is native to Europe. Now, the first thing that they got completely wrong is it is neither rare nor is it expensive. It's a common weed found everywhere.
Okay, I thought so.
Right. I mean, you can find it everywhere.
Yeah,
Although it's native to Europe, it does grow here in North America. It's known for its wonderful scent.
It's so pretty.
So pretty. So the fresh flowers, which are like white sprays, smell of honey. And when they're dried, they smell of almonds. And the leaves smell of fresh mown hay.
Fresh what?
Fresh mown hay. You know.
I thought you said fresh Monet.
Mown. Like hay. Like I mowed the grass.
Moan, hey.
Yes.
I thought you meant like Monet's water lilies. I was like,
No.
like fresh Monet?
Girl, you fresh. All right.
You Monet fresh.
Oh, man.
Oh,
All right. So this is considered an aromatic plant.
it's Monet aromatic.
Oh, my gosh. It's an aromatic. It's considered an aromatic
It smells
herb.
good.
Yeah, it smells good. So it was actually used widely as a strewing herb.
I love when you talk about strewing herbs.
Do you?
Tell them, girl.
Do you? Well, let me go back a minute because I left something out. So when we were talking about the common names, it's specifically the name was corrupted from one of its original names called Meadowsweet. So it was used since Anglo-Saxon times to flavor mead, which is honey wine.
Right.
And we said it smells of honey, the fresh flowers, right?
Love that connection.
Yes, but it was traditionally used as a strewing herb. You love when I talk about that because I can go on and on about that. So during the Middle Ages, people didn't bathe. They did not. They
Did you
did
just
not.
hear how
That was a Robin Gibb pitch, girl.
I've been practicing my Robin Gibb high-pitched notes and I just really went there.
Yeah, so people did not bathe.
The look on your face.
But I mean, it was offensive, you know. But they thought,
You fucking stink.
but see, that's what we talk about. Like when you think back in these time periods, they actually thought that by bathing, they would get sick. So they didn't realize it was the other way around. So anyway, they would use plants in what they would call a strewing herb. So they would actually throw the plant down on the ground. So as they walked,
It masked their fucking odor.
the scent of the plants would come up and cover their foul smell.
Like, hey guys, just fucking like wash yourself.
bathe. Well, and they didn't. They just didn't. And so they also chose plants that were not only aromatic, but that were also flea and insect repellents. So I know that I just had this conversation with somebody, like when you watch these movies like The Tudors and stuff like that, and you think, oh, look, I would love to have lived back then, you know?
No.
And they were in all those gowns and those headdresses and stuff. The reason they would wear those headdresses is because they all had lice, because they did not bathe. bathe and they did not wash their hair or anything like that. So the hats were actually put on their heads to contain the lice. That's what I'm saying. And so fleas and bugs. And so they would use plants on the floor. And even in Victorian times when they would wear those pouches, they would be filled with plants. And it always looked so, they're, so sophisticated.
They make it look sexy in like shows like the Tudors.
Yeah.
Oh, honey,
but they were throwing the plants down to mask their scent. Yeah.
Hey, Funkadunk. Go wash yourself.
Oh. Goodness. Yeah.
Gross.
Ooh, so
no offense to anyone that doesn't bathe. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So Queen Elizabeth I actually favored meadowsweet among all other plants.
Okay.
Because not only did she use it as a strewing herb and in her bed chambers, but the scent is said to elevate the heart. So it was to bring joy to the heart.
Okay.
Okay. So in magic, again, let's refute the whole supernatural thing.
They got it
going on
wrong.
here. I mean, when you hear what this plant was actually used for, you're going to be like, how in the world did they pick this plant? I don't know. I mean, there were probably plenty of other plants that had like wicked mythology that they could have
to Christmas
that
too.
they could have
like, yeah.
used, right? So in magic, it was used for protection against evil influences and to promote love, balance, and harmony.
Wow, that was really a stretch that they took there.
Yeah. So used fresh on the altar was, it was used for love magic, and dried it was used in love spells. Totally got it wrong there, supernatural.
She's pissed.
It could be used also to suss out a thief. So if you were robbed, meadowsweet would help determine who robbed you.
Love it.
Right?
Okay.
So the flower infused in oil and inhaled nightly would make a woman more beautiful and assist her in crossing paths with her soulmate.
Okay. Fun.
Meadowsweet magic is best performed at Beltane in midsummer.
So they got the wrong holiday.
Completely wrong.
Nice try.
Right on. It is used in working with the goddess in her maiden form. So we talk about the Triquetra and Mother Maiden Crone.
Right.
Specifically used in the maiden form. And as we know, Beltane is a festival for fertility and the maid. It was often added to bridal bouquets to bring joy and blessings to the bride.
Okay.
The perfume of the flowers is said to have a sedative effect and can help you commune with the Great Mother.
So feminine as
So feminine. It was especially useful to young witches who needed to develop self-confidence that was necessary to fully harness the goddess energy within them. I know. Why can't I talk?
the
garnered. The goddess energy within.
Okay.
So that's where you can see like the maid aspect, of course. Again.
Right.
So it was one of the 3 most sacred herbs of the Druids. And so a Druid, if you do not know, is a member of the educated professional class among the Celts of Gaul, Britain, and Ireland during the Iron Age. They were usually considered a religious figure or a shaman. Okay. So that would be your Druidic connection there. So that kind of a little bit when Sam said it was considered like one of the most powerful plants.
Okay.
So that a little bit, but that
could
also
see how they got there.
Also a stretch there, Sammy.
Well,
yeah.
He was doing his best.
So there is a Celtic story, the story of Bloodowed, which I probably am not saying that correct.
Sounded great.
Which translates to flower face, created by 2 magicians, Gwydion and Math, out of broom, meadowsweet, and oak. And they created this human being called Bloodowed, and she was considered the goddess of spring. So not Christmas.
Okay, not Yule, guys.
Not Yule.
Nice try.
And she was no tame maiden by any stretch of the imagination. She chose her own path, even though it led her to be shunned into the darkness. She became the goddess of wild places and the guardian of secrets, and for this reason, Meadowsweet is said to bring joy from the darkness, so it is good for lifting depression.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Give me a satchel of that. No.
Right. I'll take a bucket. Medicinally, Meadowsweet has many uses, but most notably, in the 1830s, salicylic acid was discovered in the flower heads of Meadowsweet, which then became the substance that aspirin was later synthesized in.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that comes from.
Interesting.
It's a diaphoretic, a diuretic, anti-inflammatory. It's stringent. It's analgesics. I mean, there's so many medicinal qualities to Meadowsweet, so for reducing fever, for aches and pains, anti-inflammatory, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a great plant. Unfortunately, not used for any of the things that they said it was used for in the old episode of Supernatural.
Yeah. I feel like we really need to create a job position for you here.
I know, right? Because we talked about this in my
Herbal consultant.
herbal consultant.
Love that.
To the filmmakers.
to the stars. Herbal consultant to the stars.
Well, I just want them to get it right in these movies and stuff.
She's so upset. You can see it.
When I know. They didn't show a close up enough of the wreath for me to see if it was really Meadowsweet. At one point, she hangs some around their necks, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that is.
This.
I'm not buying it. It looked like it had red flowers, but
so this is an interesting question I have for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is the show's responsibility to be accurate with that stuff, or do you think that they have creative liberties because it's not real?
Well, I feel like even if you're doing, I feel personally, if you're doing a period piece, right, and you have a costume designer on set and your film is taking place in the 60s, it is her responsibility to get, you're not going to have a Swatch watch on. You're not going to be, you know what I mean? It's her responsibility to get the time period correct to exemplify. So even though it's a supernatural, they're trying to represent. I feel like it is, I think they can take some creative liberties, but I feel like the mythology on most of the time is so askew. And I feel like, that's not cool. They're misrepresenting.
Interesting.
So I feel like, are they going to get specifically with what they're, know, because it's fantasy. But there probably were many plants that they could have used.
At least get a Yule plant.
They could have used mistletoe.
Right.
Or something,
right.
And stretched that a little bit. Or, other plants that would have fit into the season.
I agree with
fit
you.
Into the mythology.
Does
Does it have to be completely 100% accurate? No, but when it's completely off the board,
have some respect.
Again, and this all goes back to the Walking Dead episode with the elderberry. That's when I first became what the is going on here? That's not an elderberry.
Which was the first episode we ever did.
Yeah. Because when we said we were going to, I was like, I got to talk about this,
I'm still upset.
I'm still upset about it. But I do. I feel like there should be a consultant when you're going to talk about plants. I feel like, again, when you're setting a scene like The Walking Dead and you're in the woods and you're scavenging and you're hungry and there are plants growing around, if there's landscaping, it should exemplify where you're where the movie's taking place. Right. Does that plant grow there? Is it a real plant? Is it doing what you're saying it's doing? I do think that's kind of important.
I do think it's irresponsible to, not do some research.
To do some research, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. But then again, I'm a plant nerd, so there you go. So maybe it's, most other people are like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a
I don't take this seriously.
Yeah, that's true. We do take this very seriously, so.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's the Virgo in me.
Well, I'm an Aquarius and I still take it seriously, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I take my pop culture very seriously, guys.
But Meadowsweet is a great plant. I just have to go there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go check it out. It smells good.
Is that all?
It's very versatile.
It smells great. It's very versatile.
Magic and medicine. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I love that. Mm-hmm. I like that you did that.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna like I love when Laura talks about plants. I do. She could go for hours.
I could have went on and on, but I had to pump the brakes.
He said versatile smells good. Got it.
Pump the brakes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that episode though. It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Supernatural, I feel like it's you probably have, but if you haven't, that is a good binge. You've got 15 seasons.
Got 15 seasons to binge watch.
Go to town, my friends.
Go to town. It's so
they
good.
do. I will say they do use a lot of plants. They use a lot of like lores and legends, and there's a ton of magic.
Ton of magic, and I also feel like it's the perfect show for us because they're very pop culture-y. Like
they are.
They bring in a lot of music.
Yeah.
Like I said, when they dress up as FBI agents, they're always like rock stars.
Their names are
I'm Sammy Hagar. I'm like, it's so funny. Yeah, so it brings that element of pop culture in. I love it. It's such a good show.
It's a fun watch.
It's a good
guys.
show. Yeah.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
I love your little fact check with the plants.
Yeah, I'm on top of it.
Got you.
Yeah, so if
Debunked.
anybody watches something that maybe we don't and you want me to check out a plant, just send in your recommendations. I'll check it out.
Look at her. She's excited about
I'll sleuth that.
Yep. She likes to debunk the plants there.
I do. Yeah.
Oh my God, up top. That was fantastic. Love
right
that.
on, girl.
We're going to keep getting Christmassy. Yule.
It's the Yule season.
It's the Yule season.
Yeah.
So, with that, we're going to do some killer quotes of the week.
Yes.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. All right, my killer quote of the week is, so if your air conditioner goes on the fritz, or your washing machine blows up, or your video recorder conks out, before you call the repairman, turn on all the lights, check all the closets and cupboards, look under all the beds, because you never can tell. There just might be a gremlin in your house. And that was sent in by me because I wanted that to be the quote. So you can suck it.
It was sent in by me. Pat yourself on the back, girl. That
To
was a
me,
good one.
from me. Thank you.
All right. And mine is most appropriate because I feel like this all of the time. Of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most.
Oh,
That's Ozzy Osbourne.
You're right.
And that is from that girl in the glasses. So thank you for sending that in. That was a good one.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for sending in your killer quotes. If you want to be the next killer quote of the week, I promise I won't, steal it and
Usurp.
do my own.
Right.
Follow us on Instagram at Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, and we will tell you what to do to be the next killer quote of the week. Thank you to everyone that has signed up for our Patreon. We got a lot more patrons than we thought we would.
We did.
If you want to check it out and support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, or you can go to our website.
Yes.
Uncle
Fancy.
UncleBob'sMagicCabinet.com.
So legit right now.
We're so professional.
Yeah.
And show some support. Thank you to everyone that bought a hoodie with our faces on
The
it.
sweatshirts, yeah.
Wow, guys. We just love you so much.
I know. We appreciate you.
We do.
Letting us do what we love to do.
Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe. If you're streaming, rate us on wherever you're streaming us. That really helps the show.
Yeah.
And just thank you guys. We love you. And we're going to see you next week for some more Yule time fun.
Yes. Right on.
God.
All right. TTFN.
Cut, print, check the gate. Moving on.